Hello, my friends, and welcome to the channel. I am Nicole, and I live in India. And tonight I'm here with my very good friend, Laurence.
Hello.
And we are going to take a look at the life and history of Ratan Tata. Now, we know that we have lost a great man this week. He died on October 9th, and he will be missed and mourned by many. And we are going to go ahead and take a look at the video that is the man who exemplified the best of Indian industry, and see and maybe perhaps learn a little bit more about him now. Ready?
Yeah.
If you haven't already, please do give me your like, please give me your subscribe, and let's go. Go.
The year was 1962 when a young man of 25 entered the offices of the National Radio and Electronics Company Limited at Andheri in Mumbai. 9 years later, he was the director in charge of the company, and a decade later, the chairman of Tata Industries. In 1991, he succeeded J.R.D. Tata as the chairman of the Tata Group. The youth was Ratan Tata, fresh out of Cornell University, armed with a bachelor's degree in architecture, more than ready to enter and learn as he would rise from the lowest rungs in one of India's most hallowed industrial houses. Today, Tata's contribution to India's largest conglomerate and to the nation's economy has been second to none. He was on a pedestal very few industrialists in the country were able to climb. Though he had a magic surname, young Ratan had a tough act to follow, that of his predecessor Jamsetji Tata, Dorab Tata, and finally the iconic J.R.D. Ratan Tata took on the challenge, and by the time he retired in December 2012, Tata Group's financials spoke loud about the impact he had. During his tenure, the group revenues grew manifold, totaling over $100 billion in 2011-2012. Ratan Tata identified the opportunity which the liberalization of the Indian economy provided and began restructuring the Tata Group in 1991. Under his leadership, the group acquired high-profile international brands like Tetley Tea, Daewoo, Soros Steel, Jaguar Land Rover. He was also the man behind Tata Nano, the company's small car project, which he hoped would give wheels to the middle class. The journey, however, was not easy and tested his mettle at every turn. First, he had to deal with the Sardaps, a legacy left by his uncle J.R.D. Tata. Rusi Modi lorded over Tata Steel. Darbari Seth was the final voice at Tata Tea and Tata Chemicals. Ajit Kerkar was the force behind Indian Hotels, and Nani Palkiwala was the man behind ACC. Each considered these companies their fiefdoms and looked at Ratan Tata as another outsider they had to deal with. 6 years after taking over as the Tata Group chairman, all four of them resigned. Tata also wielded the broom on several companies. He exited cement, textiles, cosmetics, and focused his energy on software, telecom, finance, and retail. Finally, after serving as the group chairman for 21 years, Tata retired in December 2012. He had spent 50 illustrious years with the Tata Group. An avid aviator, Tata was awarded the Padma Vibhushan, the country's highest civilian honor, by the Government of India in 2008. The humble industrialist was also known for his philanthropic work. Till his death, he served as the chairman of the Tata Trust, which is amongst India's oldest non-sectarian philanthropic organizations that work in several areas of community development. The proudest moment for him, perhaps in recent years, was bringing Air India back home to the Tata fold. And while he aimed to touch the skies, his other love was dogs. Doors of even the Bombay house were open to strays all day long. Bureau Report, Business Today TV.
What do you think?
What do I think? It's a tough question you're asking me, my friend. I think he was a great man,
He was a great man.
and he. So I didn't know that. I was discussing it with my husband earlier this week, and he was saying that he himself said that Tata Nano was a failure, and that it was his fault because he marketed it as a cheap car.
Yeah, it's a cheap car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
It
if he
should have
had
been
not-
marketed as an innovative
Yeah.
car. So it was actually very innovative.
And it's funny because I don't see it as a failure. I didn't know it was a failure. Yeah.
Technically, it was. So I did actually work for an automotive manufacturer at the time that the Nano was released, and I have I have knowledge of what they actually did with that vehicle. That car was torn apart by the engineers of the company that I worked for, and they were looking at how they did it. Like,
Yeah.
how did they make this vehicle the way that they did
For the price
that they did? It was innovative and it was amazing, and it was.
Yeah, so I don't see it as
It was,
a failure. I didn't even realize it was a failure.
So on the
For me,
market,
it's like-
it was a failure, but that was because it was marketed as a cheap vehicle, and what they came to understand is that Indian families would rather have an expensive motorcycle than a cheap car.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because this cheap car was fabulous.
Yeah.
And I wish I had gotten one at the time.
Me too, actually. I was planning on, and then
they stopped making them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think he was very innovative, and he really led the company and the entire organization in such an amazing way. We have done a couple of Tata videos together where they go over the actual companies and the
we
things.
were like, what? This one also what?
That's
This
it.
one? What?
Because I mean, we've heard of Tetley tea, like that's something that we've heard of, but all of the ones that they are everywhere. Like Tata is really, and they employ so many people. It is enormous. Like it is to a point where it's kind of it's hard to actually really mentally get your head around, and it is really amazing. And from what I have heard is that Ratan Tata as a person treated employees like family, and that is something that you don't find every day. Well, hardly ever at all. Where you find a leader that actually treats their employees well. So he will be missed, and he wasn't a really amazing person. And yeah,
it's a sad week.
It's a hard week for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So if you like our discussion, if you like to see what we have to say, please do give a like. Please do give a subscribe. That is us. As always, we love you, and bye-bye.
Bye.